If I turn on the light, James?
No. See fine if I squint. Well, I hope you can see that. It says tired. We're going to talk about being tired tonight. Turn in your songbooks to 538. That will be the song of invitation. So, are you tired? I'm feeling particularly tired tonight. Seems to have been a challenging day, and that seems to take it out of me when that happens. And it's natural for us to be tired after work, or tired after exercising, or tired after any type of physical activity or exertion. It's expected, actually. And then, of course, comes a time of rest and refreshment, and then we start it all over again. I was surprised to find that the word tired is not in the Bible, at least not in the New King James Version. But there is a word that we would associate with being tired, and that is the word weary. It is found a lot in the Bible. So we're going to look at this tonight. We're going to look at some examples, and then we're going to look at some other things to finally lead to an invitation. But first of all, weary means tired or exhausted. That's one definition I found. Merriam-Webster says that it's defined as exhausted in strength, endurance, vigor, or freshness. And I can attest to that because when I'm tired, I can't do things as long as I would be able to if I was not tired. The endurance is not there. So there is an absence of that, and an absence of vigor, and an absence of freshness. We start losing our strength when we are tired. So let's look at some examples in the Bible of being weary or being tired. The first one is in Genesis 25:29. It says, "Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary." And these are the events that led up to Esau selling his birthright. Well, he had been out in the field hunting, and he came in, and he was tired. He was weary. He was exhausted, and he wanted some of those beans that Jacob was cooking in that stew. In Deuteronomy 25:18, this is talking about Abimelech. It says, "How he met you on the way and attacked your rear ranks, all the stragglers at your rear, when you were tired and weary, and he did not fear God." So we see here that this of course is talking about the children of Israel when they were coming out of Egypt, and Abimelech and his people attacked the children of Israel, and they were weary at that point. They were tired, and of course, you know, God hated that happened, and later gave Saul the command to annihilate the Amalekites, which he failed to do. Then in 1 Samuel 30:10, but David pursued, and 400 men, he and 400 men, for 200 stayed behind, who were so weary that they could not cross the brook Besor. And so here's 200 men. I don't know if it's 200 out of the 400 or if it's 400 extra besides the 200 that were tired. But we see that a large number of his men were so tired they couldn't even cross this little brook. That's pretty tired. So they stayed and they refreshed themselves. In Psalm 66, it says, I am weary with my groaning. All night I make my bed swim. I drench my couch with tears. And so, this is somebody that's, in this psalm that's really having a tough time, in a lot of misery and a lot of sorrow. And so we see that even sorrow can make a person weary. And so those are some examples in the Old Testament. But when we're weary, there is hope because of what comes next. Isaiah said in Isaiah 40:31, but those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, I think that this is probably talking about when we get to heaven, because we know that upon this earth, if we run, we're going to be weary. If we walk, we might faint. We might lose our strength. And so I think this is really talking about, the afterlife, that we will certainly renew our strength then. And, the phrase there, mount up like with wings like eagles, makes me think about the song we sing, some glad morning I'll fly away. And certainly we'll have wings at that point. We're going to fly away to heaven, and that's a wonderful thing. So there's the hope for us. When we're weary in this life, we're weary from the things that this life brings us. There is hope for later on. In Galatians 6:9, it says, "Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." So I think this is important for us as Christians because we are trying to do good, and most of the time we are doing good. But let us not grow weary doing that. Take some time to rest and refresh yourself. I think there's two things here. First of all, there is some hope in this life to refresh ourselves and keep on doing good. And then, of course, we will reap in this life from the good things that we sow. We see those things in our lives. I know I see it in my life from the good things that we sow, from our children to those we come in contact with. All the things that we sow. We begin reaping those now, but certainly after we die and go to heaven, we will certainly reap those things then as well. Well, the good thing is that rest comes. Rest eventually comes for those of us who become weary. So, when we are physically tired, we need rest. But also, when we are spiritually tired, we need rest too. Okay. And Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." So, where does the rest come from? It comes from Jesus. And I think there's two groups that are being addressed in Jesus's invitation here. And the first group is those who labor, and the second group is those who are heavy laden. So let's talk about the heavy laden first. I believe Jesus is addressing those who are burdened with sin. Uh, People who are burdened with sin and the guilt of sin, that is a heavy load to bear. And Jesus is saying, if you are burdened with sin, come to me, I will give you rest. No other place can a person find rest from their sins than Jesus. He will forgive those sins. And of course, the other group is those who labor. I think those are those of us who are Christians who are laboring here and now. We labor. We do the things that we do in laboring in the kingdom of God. And one day, Jesus is going to give us rest from those things as well. And so I think those are the two groups that Jesus addresses here. So after work, after physical activity, we're going to be weary, but there is hope, there is rest. So as we conclude, if you're tired or weary, Jesus will certainly give you rest. And so we should not grow weary in doing good things because Jesus expects us to do good things because he's going to give us rest eventually. But we may even get rest and get reap what we sow even in this life of those good things that we sow. Also, if you are burdened with a load of sin, Jesus will give you rest. And the ultimate rest, of course, is heaven. So if you are burdened with anything tonight, we stand ready to assist you with that. As I offer the invitation, please consider your status with Jesus tonight. If there's anything that we can do for you or if we can pray for you, come while we stand and sing.